Hi, and welcome back to Spirited Investigations. I'm Cougar, and today with Slider, we're going to go through haunted places in Afghanistan. We'd like to start a list of haunted countries throughout the world, and we'll go alphabetically, unless you drop your country in the comments down below. Because consider if you're from Zimbabwe, you're probably waiting until 2029. Okay, here we go. First on the list is the harrowing tale of Afghanistan's haunted outpost. Known as graveyard vampires, Afghanistan has a rich history of conflict and consequently ghost stories. One particular site, Observation Point Rock, or OP Rock in Helmand Province, is reported by both locals and foreign soldiers to be a place of unexplained events, apparitions, and curses, all set against the backdrop of years of intense conflict. Observation Point Rock is a nondescript 100-foot tall mound in Helmand Province, a province infamous for opium poppy agriculture and high casualties for British and American troops. U.S. Marines and British soldiers occupying the former Taliban defensive position unearthed tons of bones while digging, leading to the belief that the area was an ancient grave site and massacre site from the Afghan-Soviet War. U.S. Marines reported seeing muzzle flashes without physical or auditory evidence and hearing whispers, including "drop your weapon" in Russian. Soldiers saw and heard figures, experienced mysterious radio static, drastic temperature changes, constant nightmares, sleep paralysis, and a persistent feeling of being watched. Even a local dog named Ugly Betty would bark unpredictably at nobody. Locals view the area as both sacred and cursed due to the presence of a neglected shrine in the nearby village of Amir Agha. The Amir Hamza shrine is dedicated to Amir Hamza, supposedly Muhammad's uncle, and his descendant, Amir Agha. Allegedly, the shrine is protected by some paranormal force. During the Soviet-Afghan War, Russian tanks reportedly got stuck in mud near the shrine, and rockets launched at the shrine are said to have vanished or passed through it without hitting it. Locals claim U.S. Marines desecrated the shrine by taking precious marble stones, initiating a curse upon the foreign soldiers as punishment. Some less than paranormal possibilities for the soldiers' experiences may be trauma, dissociation, priming, and shared belief. Psychiatrist Anthony Feinstein suggests that the experiences could be linked to psychological trauma, leading to dissociative stages and abnormal perceptual experiences. He also posits the concept of priming, where initial individual experiences are shared and passed on, sensitizing subsequent groups of soldiers and creating a collective belief system that the place is haunted. Finally, the isolated environment of the outpost, where soldiers primarily interacted only with their small group, could have contributed to the solidification of these shared belief systems. With the withdrawal of U.S. troops and the return of the Taliban, conflict has eased, but the ghosts of OP Rock continue to resonate with those who experienced them, highlighting how cultural beliefs intertwine with the psychological effects of war.
Next, we have the White Lady of Paghman. It's a haunting urban legend from Paghman, Afghanistan. The legend tells of a mysterious ghostly figure known as the White Lady, who is believed to haunt the Paghman. As the story goes, a beautiful young woman from a wealthy family was forced into an arranged marriage. The night before her wedding, she fled to the mountains or forests and died tragically in several supposed ways, either by falling, drowning, suicide, or being killed by her family. The spirit is said to remain tied to the Paghman area, appearing to travelers and locals at night, dressed in a white gown. Witnesses describe her as a pale, sorrowful woman who vanishes when not directly observed. More terrifying accounts suggest she causes accidents by suddenly appearing in front of vehicles. Encounters with the White Lady are often accompanied by intense coldness and feelings of dread or sorrow. The legend is deeply ingrained in Paghman's folklore, with locals warning that seeing her is a bad omen, potentially signaling misfortune, tragedy, or death. As a result, the Paghman Gardens and surrounding areas are often avoided after dark.
For the third one on our list, we're going to talk about strange face illusion. While the exact phrase strange face illusion specifically applied to soldiers in Afghanistan seeing skinless faces in mirrors isn't commonly found in direct reports in academic literature, the underlying psychological phenomena are well documented in military and high-stress environments. Strange face illusion is a recognized perceptual illusion where prolonged staring at a face, often in dim light, can cause distortions, leading to perceptions of monstrous, alien, or entirely different faces. While not explicitly linked to Afghanistan in these search results, it's a known neurological phenomenon. Soldiers in combat are known to experience various perceptual distortions due to extreme stress, fatigue, and trauma. These can include dissociation or feeling detached from reality, which can involve altered perception, hypervigilance, being constantly on high alert, leading to misinterpretations of sensory input and distortions of hearing and sight, cognitive distortions or irrational thought patterns that can affect perception, and transient hallucinations. While less common than full-blown hallucinations, the severe stress of combat can induce transient perceptual anomalies. Post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, is strongly associated with altered visual processing, hypersensitivity to stimuli, and symptoms like depersonalization and derealization, where individuals may feel the world or self as dreamlike or not real. These conditions can certainly contribute to misinterpreting visual information. Pareidolia is a tendency to perceive meaningful images like faces in random or vague stimuli like clouds or patterns on a wall. While often harmless, in high-stress, low-stimulus environments, the brain's tendency to find patterns could contribute to seeing faces where there are none, especially if combined with anxiety or trauma. The brain is wired to notice faces, and this can lead to a false positive under stress. While specific reports linking the strange face illusions to skinless faces and mirrors among soldiers in Afghanistan are not immediately apparent in these results, the scientific understanding of perceptual distortions, trauma-induced psychological states, and phenomena like pareidolia in high-stress combat environments provides a strong basis for why soldiers might experience such unsettling visual anomalies. The brain, under extreme stress, can misinterpret sensory input in significant and sometimes terrifying ways.
Next, we move on to Haunted Guard Tower 6. This story details an alleged ghost encounter experienced by soldiers at Forward Operations Base Salerno in Afghanistan. The core of the story centers around Guard Tower 6, rumored to be haunted by the ghost of a young Afghan girl. The base rumor suggests two Marines previously encountered an Afghan girl and her goat outside the tower. When they removed and then replaced their night vision goggles, the girl appeared on their balcony, causing them to flee and refuse to return. Painter and Jackson, paratroopers with the 2nd Battalion of the 504th Parachute Infantry Regiment, were called to guard the tower. They initially doubted the rumors of a ghost in Guard Tower 6 after 2 weeks without incident. Then, the eerie incidents began when they called the other tower to see if they heard it on their radios. Well, they heard nothing. During a subsequent shift, both soldiers reported feeling something moving behind them, hearing steps on the trapdoor, and experiencing a temperature drop in the tower. A guard from another tower called Painter and Jackson, reporting he could see a 3-foot-tall form, resembling a waving figure walking around the base of their tower. Jackson reluctantly investigated from the balcony, but found nothing. Painter and Jackson were weary and a little jumpy during their second encounter, describing the night as having a palpable, eerie feeling, with no jokes that night. Jackson, who already believed in ghosts, did not feel threatened by the entity, perceiving it as just having fun.
And finally, we have a report of what really happened when U.S. military encountered a giant in Afghanistan. Now, this story is pretty popular, and I know I heard it first from Mr. Ballin. In a viral 2016 video, anonymous Special Forces soldiers interviewed by L.A. Marzulli reported an encounter with the Kandahar Giant in Afghanistan. A 13-foot-tall giant with red hair and beard was allegedly engaged and killed by U.S. military personnel. In 2002, a team was sent to a remote part of Afghanistan to search for a patrol that had gone missing. They found bone matter and communication equipment, but the patrol was not found. A creature described as a monster between 12 and 15 feet tall emerged from a cave, moving with surprising speed and agility. One soldier lunged toward the creature and was impaled by the monster with the pike it was carrying. The soldier died. The team cut the giant down with a barrage of bullets. The giant was described as having double rows of teeth and 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on both feet. Its nails were pointy and gnarly, and it had a terrible smell. Local folklore told of cannibalistic giants living in the caves. A helicopter was called in to extract the creature because it was so large. The soldiers were instructed to rewrite their after-action report and sign an NDA. However, by 2005, the story of the Kandahar Giant was common knowledge among the troops. In 2016, the two soldiers involved felt the public had the right to know and came out with their story. However, the U.S. government and Department of Defense have no records of such an event, and Snopes found no military records supporting the claims, including Special Forces deaths or missing patrol. The story became popular after author L.A. Marzulli released a short film in which he allegedly interviewed two Special Forces about the Kandahar Giant. Investigations into the story show all sources trace back to Marzulli's now-deleted YouTube video. This has led some to believe that Marzulli faked the interview for publicity and to make money. Well, that's 5 stories of haunted places in Afghanistan. If you want to see if your country is haunted or where it's haunted, put your country name down in the comments and we'll get right on it. Please like and subscribe, and we'll be back with more videos. Thank you. Bye. While specific reports linking a strange face illusion to skinless